Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. It's Friday, so why not? But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country, because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them, and because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if these things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberian. Doesn't matter who you are at this point. Concord country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying, those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because of their vote, our leaders will be able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est au-dessus de moi, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas bloqué nous. Quand il va Sylvie, il a un point qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas bloqué, t'as mon bien de moi avec nous deux. En ce moment, on va battre au moins, n'est où. Mon temps dit, t'as mon mouillé, on s'est battu pour moi, il pleure. Toi, là, l'occasion.
Doing anything that people get to amended. And with me from 2005 to date, we're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired, peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion. And it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You know what I'm saying? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Ìyàwó abẹ́lá lókè yóò níbi tó jọba ẹ̀ níbi tó yànba máa ti sì mọ̀ pé yóò mọ́nàjà jíjì wọ́n pè sàmẹ́ fọ́sí o sí ti connect to connect. L'animateur Chogo Noscan Yassin de Toyebi l'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniche les deux.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, are largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have road? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about putting road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we will prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, oh, stand to help you get elected. He talked nice about you on the radio station. Now he's stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children tuition, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe, they change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in. We say thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us again this evening. We will do our best here to make sure that we give you the best, as usual, coming from LIBERIA Public Radio, of course. Thank you for joining us. Safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us here again. We ask you for your continued protection. We want to thank you for the blankets of protection that you continue to provide for all of us. My Lord, only you that we're counting on to help us, bless us, continue to protect us. Can you imagine if that kind of responsibility was upon the men to be able to guide? Impossible. Only you. And I want to thank you this evening. I want to thank you for your blessing. I want to thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. My Lord, you protected us during the pandemic. Oh, how wonderful you are. How wonderful you are. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. We ask you, my Lord, to bless the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leaders to do what is right for our people. We ask you to guide them. My Lord, we ask you to bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, Thursday afternoon, let's get it going here. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. So let's go. Thank you. So tonight, program as usual. The president, of course, is in England. We saw it on social media where he was presenting some document. I'm not too sure to whom, but he's been presidential as usual, and we want to appreciate that. We say thank you. We also want to continue to talk about this stuff. Ambassador McCarthy continued to make reference, though. He talked about the press freedom. But for some reason, Abache, Pro Tem Abache, Senator Abache, and Representative Akaras Gray would not let this go. And I think the more they talk about it, the more they bring themselves to public ridicule. Because while they're trying to condemn and trying to put the ambassador, U.S. Ambassador McCarthy into the opposition camp, Liberians, those who are responsible for the upcoming election, are asking the international community to come up with extra money to help them fulfill the promise to the Liberian people to carry out the electoral process. They don't have the money. But when the ambassador say your senator, then your representative, y'all take the money, and let me put it in real Liberian English this evening. Y'all take the money and y'all fill your nest, just like birds. Y'all fill your nest with all the soft cushy. Y'all fill your nets. Then they get vexed. Then they say ambassador because he's making that kind of statement is irresponsible and oh yeah, he's a foreigner. Now you're asking the international, and who exactly? It's the international community in Liberia. If it's not US on the top of it, who? Then who? You're asking the international community to come up with the rest of the money so that you will be able to have a genuine and good election. Because you ain't got the money. So the man come out and say, yeah, we send X, Y, and Z, but you're not utilizing it correctly. Then I wrong thing you say. You got to put your more in. Or because you got mouth to talk. Yeah, on social media. I'm not too sure how true that is, but it's on social media as well. The speaker is in the southeast over there, doing out brand new money. Why I can't say something about it now? Why Senator Chair and Representative Gray? Why I can't say something about the speaker doing our money? Where you get the money from? I know that he won't money. But these are the kinds of stuff when you do, then people don't take you serious. And this is where I use the term CDC like to put their foot in their own mouth. Most of the time, the president over there, your president, he's over there, our president, he's over there going to England to represent us. And then you're here trying to, instead of you to do what you can to keeping in the news, you're over here in Liberia, by mouthing the ambassador, U.S. ambassador, and then you're talking about that's why they're getting ready to recall him. You sure? You sure? You know, when you do something like that, I'm not too sure how, because people like Abacha and even great, they're educated people. Why would you not? I know y'all know the system. You think because he's talking about you people eating like you're eating money, and you think that's why the American government going to recall him? They got time. It's not like y'all want to stay in office for life. They got term limit. You're going over there after a certain time, you're going to have to come back and they do rotation. You think if you're enough for that, you think I want Madam Greenfield is going to stay in Liberia? Because Liberia is just like a home, second home. What wrong with you, sir? What wrong with you? He's sitting down there, the man say you're eating the money. Well, the man said we send $60 some more million for X, Y, and Z, but we don't see the end result. Instead of you, Abacha, an educated person, to come and lay out the progress that you've been making with their money. To come say, well, the money you sent us, A, we go that way. B, we go that way. And you say, no, you're a foreigner. Don't say anything. Everything you're saying is in support of the opposition. That means you're guilty. Simple as that. I say so. I mean, you're guilty. Guilty. Instead of you to come and tell us, and Abacha and Representative Gray, you guys have the ability to do that. You have the ability to do it. You're educated. So you know how to respond to these kinds of stuff without making it feel like you're trying to be vindictive. Ridiculous. Yeah, now the people, you want the people, now that you want the international community to come and flip to give your money now to do the election, the money you ain't get. They shop for. You ain't got the money, but you set a budget here. And in fact, the little money in between, you're not finished taking it and fed up. The ambassador say you're fed up your net. That means you're crushing your poor pillowcases in your net so you can sleep well. Why many of the Liberian people are suffering? Rain coming on them. They can't move. You're enjoying yourself. according to the ambassador, then you as an educated person, instead of you to come out and take the ambassador stuff line by line. And let me read this here, folks. Then tonight I will read it. I will read the article from Albert Chair and Representative Gray. I will read it in its entirety. This is ridiculous. You think you think the ambassador see us there? He will see her. He will see her. A few days ago again, when he went back and started making comment about the press freedom day. You think he looking at us there? They're just making for nothing noise. But I will read it. And the reason why I'm reading it to see how to show you guys how ridiculous you're being. And then it's also in the paper, begging the international community to bring out money for this, for you to continue to have a democracy in your country. So you, Abachi, will have the opportunity to retain your seat if you're running on the people back, on their money, not your money, on the money they're giving you. Instead you just say thank you, you can't tell my man, a foreigner. That foreigner business you're talking about. Even if you're foreigner and you're stealing, you remember not talking about it. But y'all get your money. You're lucky. You think if Ambassador McCarthy was truly ahead of all of the international community money coming in our country, think you will enjoy yourself the way you're doing it? I don't think so. But let me read on. Ambassador McCarthy is interfering in Liberian politics. He is a foreigner and he must confine himself to his position, says Senator Pro Tem Albert Chair. While Gray has accused the U.S. envoy of accusing the government from a hurt perspective. Yeah? You think, man, why? If Ambassador McCarthy would say, I won't be citizen. If the Constitution were to allow you to be citizen, you think if you want any position in our country, you'll not get it as straightforward as he is. He will beat you up left and right. All sedition, he will whoop you. You think you're able to stay talking about he talking. The UN ambassador Michael McCarthy has been rebuked by two stewards of President George Weah ruling Coalition for Democratic Change for claiming that public hospital has been operating without receiving any of the U.S. 100,000 appropriated in the 22 budget. Dala. After Prince Sherry demanded Minister of Information to come out, the other day, Minister of Information just check and make something. They don't even trust you. According to Senator Pro Tem Albert Chair and Representative Akaras Gray, McCarthy's assertion is not actual, but stemmed from his frustration as being recalled. Yeah. When y'all do that kind of thing, that kind of statement that y'all need to go way in the village. Where even people in the village that they got telephone nowadays. So they know when you're lying to them. They know that. They know that. So, but listen to this, okay? So, frustration has been recalled after extensive and unjust criticism of the Weah administration. So Joe Biden cared for Joe Weah. He cares so much for Joe Weah administration. So when McCarthy make the criticism, then he got to call him back and say, I don't like it the way he's talking to my picking like that. He laying so much why he can't call into the White House. Man, please, man. People don't want to deal with it. Chair, who is currently in Grand Crew County, noted that the accusation from McCarthy is false and is intended for the opposition during this election year, but the strategy will not work, he says. Ambassador McCarthy is interfering in Liberian politics. He is a foreigner, he said, and he must confine himself to his position, the senator said. We don't get up and tell Americans to vote for Trump or Biden. He has no right to come to our country and tell our people how to vote. But he goes spreading falsehood because this is an election year so that the opposition can be strengthened. But he lied. That is why Washington has recalled him. Abache, can you hear me? Oh, Abache, Senator Chair, can you hear me? You think Liberia that they turn your mining gold and diamond business over there in the creek? Liberians, Abacha, you can't do this. You are an educated man. On a very serious note, you cannot continue to believe that the people are so dumb for you to make this kind of assertion statement like this. It's ridiculous. And then when people read these kind of, the people outside of Liberia, they read it and say, oh, is this man the president pro tem? Then they know they said that whole place said that bunch of people who don't know anything. Why would you say that? You think the government of the government of U.S. government will record its ambassador because he's spreading falsehood? So what is it that the ambassador said that was false? What is it? And you're going to come here and make this kind of ridiculous statement. And people all over the reading and making fun of us. But I'm blaming you. Ambassador BOAKAI will teach you sense. He will teach you a lesson. You will see. Ambassador BOAKAI will teach you a lesson. He will whoop you. And then from that point on, you will know yourself. The U.S. envoy earlier noted that why the legislature was allocating $65 million for salary and operation in 2022, all major public hospitals in the country were giving $7.1 million, even though the allocation of funds does not mean that they've reached their intended destination. What is it? He's lying. Okay, make that correction. But instead of you making the correction, you're connecting them with the record. It's a lie. You do this kind of stuff with Liberian here in the diaspora, the young Liberian, highly educated. Highly educated. You can't lie to them anymore. And even your surrogate, your mouthpiece, the people that got a platform talk, they will not talk about it because they got to know your story is not true. So they will not talk about it. I'm bringing it up to show how ridiculous you are, making these kinds of statements. I thought the way you dress real nice. I thought your dressing ability, I thought it would have gone a little bit higher than your educational ability and your ability to make some pronounced judgment, your analysis, your logic. It doesn't match the way you dress. Yeah, man. What kind of business is this? Strikingly, McCarthy accused the legislature of being part of the syndicate. Okay, you want to address that. He called us syndicate, but we're not. So you break it down. That involved in the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Internal Affairs and has led to the blocking of resources for county hospital and county service center. However, for Chair, the ambassador resolution is misleading as the legislature did not appropriate the U.S. $65 million for it as claimed by McCarthy. Okay, how much you appropriate yourself for? You see, when you make this kind of statement, then you go now and say, okay, this is the budget. And you tell the public where to go to find that information. And the public go and find that information. Say, oh, yeah, our chair is smart. You see? But you didn't even do that. According to the senator, the budgetary allocation is not just for salary and operation, but to respond to the needs of the respective respective constituent. Yeah, we're looking at what's his name? The speaker. Constituents down there doling out money. Yeah, that's what you think. That's why the operation's supposed to be. Sure. Whether it is payment of school fee or other responsibility. Wow. Abache, you hear me the evening? So that your job now to pay school fee for students in Liberia? Yeah. Wow. See, when you're making kind of statement, people say, yeah, the ambassador was right. These people can steal. And Yaka Koluba told us this. You guys are stealing. Broad daylight. And yes, some of the things now you're making us to believe what Yaka Koluba is saying is true. You're saying it's your responsibility to pay school fee. So the government, the budget allocation, they give you, the government of Republic of Liberia gave you a specific amount for you to pay school fee. Whose school fee you paying? And how many dollars? And then you're gonna try to muddy the water here. You think people we're not stupid anymore. But Ambassador BOAKAI will teach you a lesson. Ambassador BOAKAI will teach you a lesson. From there, you will come to yourself. From there, you'll come to yourself. You're here talking that kind of stuff. If he wanted the correct information, he would have visited the projects of senators and representatives throughout the country. Look at it, man, my people. Y'all look at Abache again. Yeah, see, you are talking about. The man in our press conference, he said he went all over Liberia. So if you think that there was a project that he missed, you point it out. I'm doing this in Grand Crew. This is the project. This is the location. But you want the ambassador to come to who's the ambassador now to come to you, Abache, and say, President Pro Tem, yeah, you're doing some project. Where your project again? Where can I find it? Are you serious? You know, when I look at it, I start wondering, I said, what are you even wrote a term paper in school? Seriously? Because your logic and conclusion is not even jiving this evening. Maybe in school you were serious, but maybe now because you're getting all that money, so it ain't mean anything to you again. Okay? This is just one example. A folder in my hand with many requests from our people. The Grand Crew lawmaker said, oh, yeah, I must say, I got folder here. Under my arm. Many requests from our people back home. How about you, man? Come on, man. You think we're stupid? You can't show folder. Why you the folder? Put a folder on the line now. And let's see the people that are asking you for money. That ain't seen thing you're there with the map out stuff. Your poor people kneel down that don't even have anything to do with it. Your poor people number on the stuff and it got nothing to do with it. You're eating money. And you want to come tell me and say, that what Yaka Koluba saying, you're stealing. Brother, Yaka Koluba, he said that. And you come here and say, people, what do we do with the money we get? He asking himself. We spend it on our people. Folks, Mr. George and the rest, I will send you the link. Yo, let me enjoy myself more bigger. How about you making me laugh this afternoon? Yo, let me enjoy myself more bigger. We spend the money on our people. We build clinics. Yeah, how about you? Yeah, they said the clinic got drugs. They said the clinic you're building ain't got no material. We buy drugs. Oh, they just told you no drugs in the clinic. They say we buy drugs for those clinics and hospital. Well, that was one of the major statements from the ambassador. Look, they were empty, pretty much. We build schools. Abache, I'm from Total. The Boston District Association in America now collecting money from old lady then to build school in Total. Abache. So what is school you building? Boston District went in Downey and built school underneath the leadership of J.J. Dennis. Build school in Downey. He finished that one. He building another one in Total. Why y'all building the school so we can see? You think we're stupid around here? Man, I beg you, man. We build school and pay teachers. Yeah? And they said some of the people haven't gotten paid 3 or 4 months. He didn't know Samson was going to get hold of this nonsense. We build guest houses. Oh, they're so beneficial to our people. Bridges, etc. That is what legislation all over Liberia do with their money. Yeah. One thing I see here, we build houses for you know who. We pay school fee for you know who. Have you ever seen a wealthy legislature in yeah, I bet you're one of them. You're one of them. You got plenty of money. Don't ask me that kind of question. Have you ever seen a wealthy legislature in Liberia who has retired? Absolutely no. Yes, I have and I know, but I'm not going to say. And you're one of them. You got plenty of money now. McCarthy, according to Gray, has accused the government from a hurt perspective as he has been recalled from his position. Yeah. You think that man leave Liberia? You think he's going to retire? The man leave Liberia, you go into a different place. You see, when you do the thing, then I'm not too sure. But Greg seemed to be like an educated person, somebody who will read before making some statement. But when I read it, kind of thing, my little brother, I just don't see it. But anyway, that's fine. How the man will be hurt? Because what exactly you're giving him goat in Liberia every day, or you're giving cow meat and more food, no food in a place? When a man when he go run all over the country, get stuck in the middle of the highway, sleeping on the road. That will make him feeling hurt because they're moving him from Liberia. You even get quota road to go to the southeast, and the man driving over he's spending from Ganta from Second Pier to Zwadru. He spent almost 2 nights. That why you be feeling. Oh yeah, you're feeling so hurt because at night when he's sleeping on the highway, all the monkey and bamboo then but people, I tell you, people when you follow them, you will kill yourself laughing. Because they're removing him from Liberia. So you will not hear the mosquito biting him anymore. So you will not hear the frog when he traveling on the highway, the frog, the snake, then jumping, those kind of things. Oh, I love it. He loves it so much that when they move it, he feeling hurt. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? But according to Gray, his feelings hurt. Gray, who represents Mosarado District 8 in the House of Representatives, noted that for McCarthy to make a stretching statement 6 months before the election is inexcusable. Then why you can't make comment about the State Department human rights on Liberia? Why you can't make comment about that also? Sometimes now I'm thinking, so when you people go to the Senate for confirmation, about then do they really understand the foreign core diplomatic core for Liberia? And when they're ready to have confirmation hearing for some of these minister, deputy, assistant minister in the foreign affairs, do they ask questions, or do they even understand how the diplomatic business work at all? And if they don't, then I don't blame them. Then I think the government of the Republic of Liberia need to send people there to educate them. Because if they were educated on these issues, they won't come and make a ridiculous statement like this. But let me go on. He added that the U.S. ambassador has attacked the Weah-led administration and its officials more than the opposition, which he claimed is responsible for the chaos in the country. The opposition responsible for the chaos in the country. The opposition is responsible for the chaos in the country. I don't blame you, but Ambassador BOAKAI will teach you when you finish with you, you will know exactly how a country is supposed to be run. then you're telling us that the opposition, what kind of chaotic situation the opposition have brought up? What? Tell me one. But anyway, let me read on. The ambassador should understand these are not the days of colonialism. Liberia, yes, the thing great need to understand Liberia was never colonized. So I'm not too sure why would the ambassador not want to colonize Liberia again. Liberia never colonized. But anyway, let's leave that one. I'm not gonna. America owes Liberia more than we owe them. Yeah, you scare me. What a ridiculous statement. What do they owe you? What do they owe you? They got thousands and thousands of your citizens living in your country, working, sending money back. Sending money back to help alleviate some of the issue, the suffering of our brothers and sisters. And you say they owe you? How they owe you? Maybe let me go on. Maybe you'll tell her. Grace said, I think the ambassador, but he's not, I don't think he's going to tell her. But anyway, maybe you'll say something. He said, Grace said, I think the ambassador feel hurt that he's been permanently departing Liberia. Or he's not going to tell her how America owed them. No. It's just a statement, and it's good on his resume, so that's fine. I think my white paper really doing me some disservice this afternoon. I will put it down. I'll put it up again because when I put it up, the light, the reflection for the light go back into the camera, and it getting my stuff dark. Okay, so I will not put it up. I'll just read it here. The ambassador must be called to order. His statement was not factual. We are paving the road. Yeah. Ooh. Speaking about road. Yes, few before the election. The road business Liberia, Tabata. According to sources that are very close. Tabata. But I'm not ready to talk about it. So Ralphie Highway, if they're raining right now, they did some paving testing. And according to the story, the machine is bad. And I got more, but I'm not going to tell you now. But anyway, let's go on. We are paving the road. We are using taxpayer money. This is one of its kind where taxpayer money has been used to pave road, where the ambassador will comfortably ride. If these people were not my representative and I didn't have respect for them, I would say they were on something else. But I do respect them, and they're doing their job, so I will leave it as that. What comfortable road the ambassador drives on? You saw his pictures. In the mud. Is that comfortable? If that comfort right there, Jesus Christ, great. Y'all need to do better than that. But let me go on. Will comfortably ride and go across the country, and nobody will badmouth him. Gray and Cheer response comes a few days after the weird government described McCarthy's statement as inaccurate, and assertion claimed that funding for public health facility was not being disbursed as appropriated in 2022 budget. While the government recognized that there is always room for improvement, you see, this is how a responsible person would address these kinds of stuff. First of all, you recognize that the person's statement is factual. You can disagree with it. Listen to this. This is how responsible government responded. Why the government recognize that there is always room for improvement, particularly in the allocation and disbursement of funds for essential service. They already agree with you. That one that I agree with. That the quick way of saying, I agree with you. The narrative as expressed by Ambassador McCarthy is inaccurate. Like the whole Randy, the Minister of Information, said. See, that's how responsible people address these kinds of stuff. You don't say you're foreign or don't say anything. When contacted by Daily Observer for a response to the legislature trade, the United States Embassy shared the following statement. Ambassador, this is their statement in response to Albert Chair and Gray Tabata. Ambassador McCarthy's recent press statement, like all statements from the U.S. Embassy, is non-partisan. We stand by the facts presented in the statement. The U.S. Embassy rejects as false and assertion that the embassy support one political party or another. The United States valued a strong and historic partnership with Liberia. Oh, I don't put the people on again. McCarthy, who has been U.S. ambassador in Liberia since 2017, has been a vocal critic of the government, speaking against corruption, the rule of law, and the failure of the government to believe in basic service. He has been praised by many for being likable and charismatic and for giving heartfelt opinion on important national issues. He aggressively criticized the government in its informants. What would J.J. Roberts say? Letter for failing to deliver fundamental social services while fostering corruption. According to the White House, McCarthy is due to be replaced by Mike Toner, who has substantial experience in national and regional security. The remark by the two stewards of the ruling party comes a few days after Representative Rosalind Denny accused McCarthy of misleading the public with his assertion about how the legislative budget worked. Denny, who is a representative of Moserado District 4, was another lawmaker to reply to the ambassador April 24th statement, which accused members of the legislature of battering their own bed with fat budget allocation for salary and operation for years. According to her, the ambassador's allegation was extraordinary and painful and has caused confusion among Liberians instead of alerting them about the issue of bad governance. Imagine how excruciating and painful it is for you to have a blinking statement over the entire legislation. Dennis said, your judgment is not only unfair, but highly misleading in some area. Okay, the area that is not misleading, we would like to take that. Okay. You have confused the citizen more than alerting them. Let me state unequivocally, herein the budget we pass in is never US 65 million. Next, the 40 million plus that is passed is not for 30 senators and 73 representatives. Rather, it is for the over 4,000 workers in central administration and all the legislature staff for each member. Your failure to analyze those funds led to your blanking characterization of the legislation. However, the Moserado County lawmaker claimed that the legislature budget has never reached US 65 million. It's untrue. They're coming, you see that now? When you make these kind of statements that are not true, the press themselves, they're not stupid either. Listen to this. However, the Moserado County lawmaker claimed that the legislature budget has never reached US 65 million is untrue. As 2022 budget was 65.6 million. So you see? So that means either she doesn't even know her own budget, or she seems to be, but I'm not gonna even go there. In 2021, it was US 39.6 million, and now US 42.7 million for this year, according to the 2023 budget document. The money we allocated for compensations of employees and the use of goods and services. Okay. Folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I thought I'd do this here. When these people come out and make these kinds of ridiculous statements as though we can't see anymore. All right? So let me go ahead and send this thing out. I just wanted to enjoy myself a little bit. Let me send this thing out quickly. Mr. George, Sissy, and so I'm getting ready to send this thing out. Please join me as well. Madam Yoi, good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me do this. First thing first, let me do this here.
Mama Sylvie, my I don't you chair when you bless your way, mouth. My player, the law, my player. I say more the law, if someone you know, take me here. The more the law, the more I say, you know, Trouble by a more patio in your game. Yeah, you know your well. Monato, I know you, say you over the toe. Come on, but you, say you won't do it. I not your American Pablo Peyo, your SDV, LIBERIA. I would know you check. I said, bet your fever mao. I said, dog with Moe Ma. I want your this anymore. Give up.
Okay, we're back. Thank you. So I have another issue here tonight. I think I've been on here now and been saying that Ambassador BOAKAI, even I've been perusing the entire Facebook, social media, and everything that I can get my hand on. I've not seen anything yet from Ambassador BOAKAI and his second in command to be. So I have not seen anything yet. I'm hoping. So I placed a call this morning to Honorable Anthony Kesseri, former president of EULA, asking him to join me because I want to have some conversation with him. And I simply told him, I've been beating on you all. He said, well, for what? What are you beating on me for? The same thing. He said, yeah, I know these people, they don't know me much. They must say we're not together yet. So let me bring in Mr. George here. So I'm hoping that the ambassador ambassador and Senator Kuhn will take the lead on this. I'm also going to be talking about Senator Nyamdi Lawrence Kaka Lawrence here this evening, and I'm hoping that she will listen to me as well. But I have not seen anything yet, so let me bring in Mr. George here. Mr. George, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I've sent this late. I wanted to enjoy myself a little bit, make some fun of Apache and his buddy over there. You know, even though it was funny, but this is a very serious business. These are the people that are leading us. When other people look at this kind of stuff and read these things, they say, "But where are these people coming from? Do they even understand the diplomatic relationship and stuff that kind of stuff?" So. By the way, thanks for joining me. What's on your plate this evening? What do you make of my
your Tabata, your intro? It was right, but you seem so. What you are doing is for the supporters to tell the supporters, hey, they are tough. They can talk to the American ambassador, this and that. What to the supporters, but the people who know exactly what is going on, they don't listen to these guys. Because look at great exception. Talking about colonialism We're not colonized. And what this man is doing, that you say is a form of young colonialism, what the ambassador is doing. This ambassador just saying what he's seeing that your government is doing. And that is part of the rule. Because our money was sent out there, they are the one to tell the government that, hey, the money has been properly used. It's part of the rule. And what Gray or Albert here, they don't understand. These people serve at tenure. Ambassadors serve at tenure. So when your tenure is what they recall you, you think what the ambassador said is that what prompted the State Department to recall him as they're alleging? No. Every ambassador that people send has a term. When that term reaches, they will send somebody else that you will come back to State Department. Maybe they must send you somewhere else, or they might give you some promotion. That's how they do it. It's not big. The African government will go pressure the United States to withdraw the ambassador, Liberia, especially Liberia. So when they say anything, they send it to the audience. They want to show power. But here's the thing. To send a rebuttal to what the ambassador said, or you want to debunk certain things, where are the facts? Look at what Roslyn Dennis said. The people there said, no, your budget had gone to 65.7 million now before. So what is the lie that the ambassador said? It means she is the one that lied. In other words, so if the ambassador said money was allocated for the hospital in Lofa and they did not get it, and you people show that that money went to the people, call your Minister of Finance or call the Health Ministry. So bring the receipt, bring the money, bring the document to show that the money was transferred to the health center. And this is the person that received it, the director of the country, they received it. It's that simple. So then you tell the ambassador, this is the money that was sent to this man at so time. The person who in charge of health in Lofa County received the money. These are the documents. That case closed.
Yeah, but Abache want the ambassador to ask each of them what their project is so they can tell them.
What project? It's not a project. Your project, he said that those are things you're claiming that you're doing for the people personally. So that is not something that the ambassador talking about. They're talking about money that out there for a system that is the hospitals, the schools. Now he said decentralization, some of the equipment are not working. All Abache need to do is to take the press there and search the equipment on, print some paper and say, see here, Mr. Ambassador, he said this thing was not working, but look how it's working. Then you have a proof. But you just come and issue some blanket statement that you expect people to accept it. Something will be wrong with these people. And these are the problems they're facing. Because like Mr. Toh, I said, Mr. Toh said he did a design. But I see a design, and I said, okay, go. You bring a copy and say, yeah. How can you say you see it when I give it to you? Or your people got it? Then you not debunk my clean. That means Mr. Toh is truthful. But only thing the ambassador listed, okay, which one they say is true? They cannot point out which one is true. And they can't point out which one is lie. But they just say his assertion is not right. But which one now in that statement that it's not true that you can challenge the ambassador on and bring in empirical documents to say, you know what, these are the documents from the Ministry of Finance. This money was deposited to the Health Ministry and the Health Ministry sent it to the people. Here are the facts. That can't close. But you can't show anything. You can't, oh no. It does not work. It will not hold water again. No more. The days of doing those things and people believe you is over. They have to understand this. You can make all your noise. You think the ambassador made that statement in the absence of the State Department? No. All those statements they make State Department is aware, they approve of those statements. Those are official spokesperson in the country in which they are assigned. They don't just make loose statement before the State Department. No. These people send this into the State Department. So if they're thinking that this man will just make some statement, oh, he just talking, the State Department is not aware of it, because something got to be wrong with them. So, but the problem here now, the legislature, they have an oversight. They come back to them. If the ambassador said anything, all you do call the Minister of Health, call the Minister of Education, say, hey, 300,000 out there for this country, for this country. Let's see how it disbursed for 2022. What are the documents? But you don't call your Minister of Health. You don't call your Education Minister. You don't call the Minister of Internal Affairs. You just can't, what the ambassador said was wrong.
No, he's saying that the money they got in the budget, they use that money to pay to give it to help their people, to pay their people, pay not only pay, but they build schools, they build clinics, buy drugs and everything else for their constituents.
No, listen, it doesn't hold water. These people get $30,000 for what they call it, what kind of money? Constituency break, get at $30,000. Now, if the government did allocate 200,000 for the entire clinic, let's say in Bon County or McGill, you cannot go and take that money to go do personal project. No. That money was allocated for the county, for that county, to be spread to all the health department or hospital in that area. So you cannot go there and take some money and say, oh, we're taking the money to go use it. No.
You think if the government of Liberia was fair and they said they wanted to audit people like Abache, you think the statement Abache made, you think it will hold water in terms of a response to auditing?
It will not hold water. That's why the Senate, the House of Representatives, nobody can talk about auditing around there. Nobody. But what kind of government you have that one branch you cannot audit, one branch or two agencies you can, and two departments you can't audit? Eh? What is that? These are the things now making the people to be corrupt. People, you taking pay, you receiving taxpayer money. So money you allocate for that area, you should be audited. It's about 6 months at the end of the year to make sure that the money that was allocated for that place, it was used for the internal purpose. But they said the other man, Deputy Speaker, got 1.2 million for his office. President President got 2 million. Vice President got 2.7 million, and no audit. So it's a loose money spent, loose money. They just take taxpayer money and use it the way they feel. You cannot account for it. And these are some of the systems that is damaging the country, Mr. Toh. No ministry or agent, even the office of the president should be audited.
Okay.
Taxpayer money.
I think the kumbaya between us need to take a rest, and because I think we're going to go on our separate way now.
Mm-hmm.
So next subject matter is for my sister, Senator Honorable Kanka Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice to her, and you can come and say here, first thing is to be ridiculous. I will make my first ridiculous statement. Then I will make a statement which that I consider to be intellectual. So the two statements I'm going to be making. One is ridiculous, and the other one that I consider intellectual. So you can respond to any one of them. But I know you, knowing who you are, you're most likely going to latch on to the ridiculous one. So the first ridiculous one is to tell Senator Kanga not to even talk to, what's his name, Comey. Comey come to you, say, look, don't even bother me, don't talk to me. Take him in public and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to see you. Don't talk to me. Because you broke down my party and you disgraced me in this place. I don't want to be bothered with you. So leave me alone. Whatever I am. That's the ridiculous one. But what I consider more intellectual if Comey was to approach Senator Kanga on whatever the conversation is, reconciling, then fine. But if she was to be asked to be the running mate, I think she should respectfully reject that and continue to work with Ambassador BOAKAI. The reason I'm saying this is that she's young and she got a long way to go. And in politics, things you do today, people remember those things. So if she was to, as I suggested, or seemed to have suggested yesterday, which was that she would take it and then use that opportunity to expose herself to the rest of the country. Yes, that's my inner selfish part of it. But on to be real, I don't think that would be a good idea, because then she will be considered, I think, as being bitter, the fact that she was never selected. I think she needs to show herself that politics, she understands politics, and that continue to work with Ambassador BOAKAI is a sign of responsibility and a sign of maturity. And I think that would be the right road to take. Even though what happened here was not decent, was not right, it's not that she should have been picked. Anyway, that's not my argument. But according to the story, that she was never they were never a meeting until Ambassador BOAKAI was invited to disclose this thing. And from day one, I've been arguing, and I will continue to argue, that if those stories are correct, then I think Ambassador BOAKAI missed the mark. Because what I think should have happened was, as a father and an older person in the opposition community, your best bet would have, even to invite Comey himself, I don't care, but to let the opposition community, the chief architects of these opposition community, to have a meeting. I have reached my decision, and I'm going to make it clear. And this is the person that I'm going to be selecting, but I don't want that to come from someone else. I don't want you guys to hear from someone else. Rather, you hear from myself. And anybody have question, you're welcome to it, and have that discussion, close door discussion, insider, close door discussion. And one day, people will yell and scream and condemn and what have you, but it's closed door. Once that is done, then there will be no reason for these people to come and invite you to a meeting. However, having said that, I think at this time, I will ask Senator Kanga Lawrence to stay high above the fray, so to speak, and be as decent as she's always been, and be the leader as she's always been, and stay with Ambassador BOAKAI, because this is where you were before. You have raised Ambassador BOAKAI hand as being the next president in waiting. Stay with that. Don't let anybody to say what he did disrespecting you, blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. Don't leave. Stay. And I think the guilt, if the old man has some sort of remorse attitude, the guilt will be with him. It shouldn't be on you. Let it be on him. And let's see how he's going to respond to your continuous support. And I know the continuous support will be welcome, but at what cost? Is he willing? Is Ambassador BOAKAI will be willing not to compromise, but will he be willing to have a genuine conversation with those who are hurting? And I think that is the way to expose whatever ill feeling that perhaps he has against any of you guys. That would be the intellectual part of it. I've already given the ridiculous, my belief. The second one was a little bit intellectual. I think people might disagree with me, but hey, that's how it is.
Okay. Now, you see, politics is timing. Maybe the next 6 years, who knows what I will have complete new breed of politicians that will be in the arena. So For you to tell Yami Kanga if coming stop the she must say, oh no, you want to violate the past.
So you're gonna latch on to the ridiculous.
Yeah, oh yeah, well that's gonna do. What you are let it ridiculous pass? No. So for you to tell her, oh, don't take it. Just go back to Omen Baka, go work with Omen Baka. Wait for the next 6 years. By that time you'll be, is that guaranteed that the next year you will be someone to run? You know who was Piker? You don't know what Papa. So it's politics is timing. I don't know. I sure if Mr. Coleman go and approach Yumley, hey, to be a vice running mate of somebody of any country, I will say it's not a small thing. Even if she doesn't win, but she has established herself now as a former VP, running as a former running mate of Mr. Coleman as a VP. That carry over, and at that time, she would be well known all over the country. And she have an edge being a woman again. So for you to say, oh, she might just say, hey, I'm going to Omen BOAKAI. What if you should go to Omen? What is the ground she's going to Omen BOAKAI? And let me say something. You know, Liberian people, we quit to run with something when it's in our favor. I called one of my little nephew today. I was asking him. Similar question. He said, oh, my man, the narrative they have created now, he ain't promised none of them. So I asked him, I said, in politics, you think people just support people for nothing? Especially that kind of inner cycle. This person a political leader. This person a political leader. They wait for another political leader and they say they lift their hand, who you support? I said, there has to be some conversation somewhere that if you support me, I will either give you this or I will make you this. So I said, some conversation went on between Honorable BOAKAI, Honorable Yomi Kanga, Honorable Benin Ayure, and Mr. Costa. I said, that's why you saw they were all in. Because something they had told them. And that did not happen. And the way they went about it, he did call them to a meeting and said, look, hey, I promise you people, but because of some reason I will not be able to carry you people, and I want to hope that you people can work with me. When you'll be the inner part of this government, I don't know what that conversation ever took place. We don't know, we're all just speculating now. And the mere fact, because you say your man is a fixer, this is why I expected the leadership of Honorable BOAKAI to come in. Because all throughout the rainy days, these people have been with him on his side. The sun shining, then they are not there. That's why I think Honorable BOAKAI should have shown some leadership. After he would have gone to convince the people, hey, you'll come. Because the update will look bad if you put not there, and that's what happened. Saw the other day. So I said, where's the leadership that stands into all of this man? Because those are tests. These people were you all through, or they have been defending you. Their party has split because of you. And
But they think, I agree with you on that. But what really amazed me on this is, how did this thing comes about? The Ambassador BOAKAI have a meeting with his inner circle and they agree with him that he should not consult these people? Or was it something that he decided, look, I'm not even going to tell anybody, I'll just do what I want to do and that's it? I mean, how did they come about? Because it's so bad. If all of this report that we're hearing, if they're true, then it's bad. Because for you to just not, these are people that been with you. I mean, seriously close to you. The Dallas Dillon, they Benin Ayure.
yeah,
We might disagree with them, but they're very close. They've been the Costa. They've been going backward. I mean, ridiculously making some statement in support of your candidacy.
Yeah.
And for them to invite you to say, what are we hearing? Then I think it doesn't bode well for Ambassador judgment and temperament.
But remember, Costa traveled to Liberia. Costa traveled to Liberia. So why Costa would travel to Liberia for a program and he's not in the program? He's not attending the program. That was them who are bowing down to you, holding your feet. He's not in the program. Benin Nigeria, who said they met my uncle, our grandpa. He came to Nigeria. He's not in the program. Did not participate, did not present. Senator Yomi Kanga, who took you to her party headquarters, took you to her hometown. She's not present. The question I asked, what is about Honorable Brown? What is their leadership?
Seriously, I really need to.
What is the leadership that was one of the tests of him?
But yes, another fiery and scary part on this. If Ambassador BOAKAI, who I believe is not in a bubble yet, that people can still face him face to face and say, no, I don't think so, that type of stuff. What will happen if he's put in a bubble where nobody will and you know, Liberians and their circumference issues and how they praise singer and what have you. If they put if they put him in a bubble, if he allows the people to put in a bubble, they'll have people to be straightforward with him. Then I think we're in trouble. Another thing and I'll be ridiculous on this one as well. I hope that has nothing to do with culture, because I know people Lofa. And Lofa people, they are not people to fool around with. They don't take mess. I have grown up in a barracks. There was a lot of fighting with me and Gizzy Boy and stuff like that. They will not let you take advantage of them. So I know them. Look how much fighting that was in I'm not too sure if he's still Senator, but Bonnie Samika issue here the last time. And as much as he refused to put Madame Sali on the bus, he stood his ground. But the issue is it how people in Lofa, I don't believe that. I don't even want to think about that. To say, I mean, the way it went, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Let me say this. I'm not from Lofa. But with guys, the tradition all is the same. So this has nothing to do with that, because if that were the case, because what they do is to if certain thing happen, they will say, no, I have to call all the other, call them and say, hey, come and sit down. They bring the people, they say, okay. The other way, they will bring the new to call the person and say, hey, come sit down here. They think so went so. But this is what the chief said. So according to them, the chief will not do. So we're asking you, please. We know you heard, but we beg you, support the chief, support this person. That's how they will do it. Because
I think if you know, then again, Mr. George, the fact that I admire Ambassador BOAKAI, I will put and I know this one you're going to disagree with me vehemently, and I don't mind that. I'll put a blame straight on Prince Johnson's foot. I think Prince Johnson went in there and decided to confuse the old man and decided to tell Ambassador BOAKAI, don't even let the people know who are the people. They're nobody to you. You know, and all kinds, because Prince Johnson is capable of doing that.
Now, let me tell you one thing.
I want to blame Prince Johnson on this one.
No, listen, let me just tell you one thing. Then Open BOAKAI should not even be, then he should not be thinking about becoming president.
No. I mean, you know, I take it back.
Then, if that's the case, he should not even think of becoming president. Because when he's in the White House, this is what Prince Johnson will do.
No, but seriously, on a very serious note, I don't know exactly how this thing went down.
That was 3 weeks. Prince Johnson hijacked the whole process. 2 weeks or 3 weeks, Prince Johnson hijacked that whole process. That's what I call hijack. Because the time that Prince Johnson he threw his support behind Omer BOAKAI when he declared it, that when the whole thing picked up now about Jeremiah Kun. Because all along, the speculation was either Nyome Kanga or.
So it said the ambassador was hoping so badly to have Nima in the columns that he was hoping that Nima will come in and be able to help him realize his dream. And since when Prince Johnson came knocking to the door, every other rational thinking went through out the window.
Yeah, that's the what they call that's the Machiavelli principle. The ends will justify the mean. Okay, I will do it. Then we'll talk a little. I will go ahead and do it. When we get there, then we'll have that discussion, and that's what we're doing now.
All right, let me put a number up, Mr. Joyce.
So, but yes, the
go ahead, make a statement. Anybody can call.
Yeah, here's the thing here.
Let me set this up. Go ahead, finish your statement.
So, with this now happening, I'm a free thinker.
You are?
Yeah. So I'm thinking.
You are?
I am. How will Honorable BOAKAI run the country? So when Prince Johnson go there and say, hey, I don't want to, don't do the one, he will say yes. Is that what's going to happen? So I don't know. But you always say he's a statesman, he's a stabilizer. The other ship, he didn't stabilize this ship here.
No, and this is for me, to be honest with you, in as much as I admire the ambassador, for me, I think this is the second issue that I have with ambassador in terms of judgment and temperament and all of the good thing that comes with it. Mm-hmm. The first one was his inability to rein in Custer when Custer was going heavily on Cummings. And then this is the doozy, because I don't know how you come to this kinds of conclusion of people you've been hanging with, people who would tell you, have a meeting with you almost every other day, and you're going to make an important decision like this without them being involved. Let me take this call, Mr. George.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. To. This is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Okay, Elvis, thank you for calling. Appreciate it, sir. Elvis, you could. I'm not too sure whether if you have the time, but in as much as you call in and make such a wonderful contribution on this show, why won't you join us someday and spend 1 or 2 hours with us having these kinds of conversations live on the show?
Yeah, anytime, except No, I'll show my face. Not to plug anything now. I won't mention another platform, or I'm also a prominent guest on another platform as well.
I'm just kidding.
On a platform.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
So let me make my point, please, Mr. To. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Elvis, hold on 1 minute. Let me link in Ambrose here, please. Just hold on.
All right.
Oops. What did I do? Hey, Ambrose, hold on, guys. Okay, Ambrose, can you just hold on 1 minute? Let Elvis make his point, and if you don't mind, if you can mute yourself so that there's no noise. Go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead, make your point.
Thank you, Mr. To. I know Mr. Fu is not on the show tonight, but I will use one of his saying that he liked. Can't eat your own baby when it comes to Henry Costa now. He's ready to stir the tea. He's ready to give all of the skeletons that's in Paul's closet. And that's the problem with Costa. I know you, Mr. Ian George, you like Costa, you respect, and you think he's brilliant. But people like that with the character of Costa, who is unhinged, so to speak, cannot be controlled. He will always, lash out anytime he doesn't get what he wants. It's like a petulant child. So people like Costa, J&B associating with him, it was always going to be a lashback after things didn't work out the way Costa, in his mind, envisioned it. And also, there's been a topic of this. I think we discussed it yesterday on the show. But this whole minister thing, you know, I've said it before and I will say it again. It's like repeating myself. The whole thing with MDR and people getting government position in the government was contingent upon MDR, you know, supporting President Weah. So if they supported the president, even Prince Johnson went on Voice of Africa on James Butler's show, told the man that he had told Kura to resign a long time ago after they decided not to support the police. But Kura wasn't, you know, doing it fast enough. And then he had the audacity, the former post telecommunication manager, a minister, to tell the current, you know, Minister of Presidential Affairs to tell the president that he will resign on Wednesday. How insulting is it? Like you're telling your boss that you'll be leaving the job. You know, it's not even a 2 weeks notice or you didn't read a form of communication, but you're relaying it to somebody else. So President, we are firing that man was apt. It was right. And secondly, he replaced him with somebody from the same Nema County because we don't want that same rhetoric that will come and say, oh, the president, because he's from the Southeast, he's against all the people from Nema. You don't like us because you know Prince Johnson is going to start to spill that same hateful and divisive rhetoric that the president is against him because the people from Nema. Well, it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to work. But what I want to say, Mr. Toh, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you guys. You know, we're all political junkies, and we love to be jumping like grasshopper from show to show. But you know, this is my second home. If I'm not on the other platform, I'm always on this platform, and I thank you guys for always being here and you know putting up a great discussion. But George, I wish you wasn't supporting the ANC because I think your opinion and your analysis is more balanced when you're not speaking for a political party. But we always love to hear you guys' opinions and analysis. But thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll leave it right there.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, Ambrose, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Tool and Pat George, how you doing?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I think whatever our uncle is getting or Joseph BOAKAI is getting from Henry is deserving. That probably is benefited. See, when he now this is now his second time denying the vast of people opportunity. He did it to Broski. He did it to running farm on a bigger farm ball. He did it to normally. So you know, somebody that vendetta, they need to eat their own baby. You know, if you just hit certain group of people or certain group of ethnic group, you can't get a justification why he did to normally or why he did to Costa. How you and the woman is not sensitive to the crown people. How you can allow somebody that killed Doe to even God forbid, just a BOAKAI way to go closer to that executive action? The men have been little Doe, and the man you're going to go to Doe, and he tell the whole world that you have a peacemaker in your heart. How you can get in there with that type of person? Also, I think.
Hello? Hello? Oh, I think he dropped on. Yeah, Ambrose, give us a call back. I'm sorry about that. I think it was my fault. Okay. All right, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public. I did some stuff here, but anyway, Mr. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't want, you know, all I can speak for. I said, if these kind of things are going on over BOAKAI, and let me say something, look at the front page story, the story that they carried that day. They said he made a remarks, the coded the sources that even for him to win, if you sleep with the devil, he would do it because the devil got a role to play. And that statement in front page newspaper is there. And nobody from Honorable BOAKAI team had ever come up to challenge that statement. So it means that he made that statement. And because you want something, so that will make you to go at length for anything to do. So these statements are concerning to me. But again, the supporter will say, oh no. But when these statements are in a leading newspaper and nobody come out to rebut that statement, to debunk that statement, then it raises concern. How he go about making decisions, because that means you can do anything for him, and he know that you're not getting to the finish line. He will dash you and go for someone that he think that will put him there, and forget about everything you have done for him.
Yeah, I think you're taking on the ANC tone here now.
No, Mr. So I don't lie, Mr. To. The statement is in front page.
I read that. I read that statement.
Now, if he did not say so, what it takes for somebody to come and say no?
Yeah, but they don't have to respond to all of the press.
Look at it.
Conversation, things like that.
That kind of statement is supposed to read, because it is a ridiculous statement for someone to say someone of that caliber made in the midst of all what is going around him. You can't just let that kind of statement slide. You can't come and say no. Maybe the ambassador did not say so, but you left it like that. So that means he said it. Okay, but I go back to the point. You are behind you. You said he's the stabilizer.
Let me answer this. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Braku, this is Matthew Bones. You calling from Atlanta, Georgia. How you doing?
Not bad, Chief. Thanks for joining us.
Good. Thank you, Oben. My question is, how did Abochie and the other men got to Grand G there? Since it said Jawia is borrowing medicine, how did they get to Grand G there?
I think he most likely drove.
Don't can afford new brand Jeep.
Yeah.
Don't can afford 4-wheel Jeep. Jeep that costs $65,000, $70,000. They can afford it.
Yeah, so, but they went through Ivory Coast to get to Grand G.
Yeah. I don't know that for sure, but it is possible.
Thank you for this. Yeah,
but if they did it, because that's why I say, if your statement is true, then it comes back to our people. Our people from Grand Gide, Sando, Maryland, they spend weeks or months on that road. But the people who said that they are concerned about them will fly to Ivory Coast, then drive down into Harper and go to their home. The question we continue to ask these people, are these people legitimate, genuine leader for you? When the election coming, they show a picture, I saw a picture of Buffer Chimo got a whole lot of new money stacked on the table.
Exactly.
in Harper, in his district. New money. I mean, tell me, if this man know that the road is good for you, why he can't use it? That as the gentleman alleging, they will go through Ivory Coast, then come into Cape Palmas. I mean, Lord, something is wrong with us.
Did he say they went through Ivory Coast?
That's what he said.
Go ahead and do some research, please. Yes, it did.
Wow.
Yeah, it did. Because you see the road, how the road looks.
So, but the ambassador went through, though. He didn't go through Ivory Coast.
Yeah, but the ambassador on a fact-finding mission.
Exactly.
The ambassador, the ambassador did not send a political officer there.
To go and distribute money over there.
Yeah.
You see the new money?
Yeah.
Our people don't have the new money. Where is the new money coming?
They're keeping it down for the campaign.
So these guys are very discouraging, man. I can't believe these are our own country people. We say countrymen, this, that. That's it. What we got right
now. No, that country Congo issue is long overdue. Way past its time.
Yes, it is.
In order, we have to have a whole week to discuss this matter, so we can get down to it, because we have to discuss it. We have to continue to discuss it, because that's the only way we disabuse people's mind. Country Congo, there are people today who are indigenous, and they complain about American Liberian treating our people bad. Yes, I always say this thing, what local people say. Not every black man is wicked, and not every white man is bad. There were some bad Congo people, And just there was some bad Congo people, there are some bad native people. So we can't just be pointing finger at one group of people that they did the worst thing. And when it comes to all, we all want to continue to be crying. We're victim, and we're treating our people the same thing that we're talking about. Let me let me give you an instance.
One of the sad things is some of these guys, their kids are here going to school. They're going to be saying the same repeating thing. Tomorrow, to get an education, they still want to go back and treat the people the same, because when they go to be speaking the same, goddamn different English. Excuse me for the expression. They're going to be speaking the same thing. And they say the Congo people.
Yeah, I think
the definition of Congo 9 Liberia, once you are educated, you can afford something good for yourself. You are Congo.
Yes.
That's it. So, but I always say this thing here. I say because I heard people saying, oh, the Congo people used to make the people told Chima Bucket. I say, yeah, that's true. Some people did not have those, especially in the settlement thing. Did that happen? But I said, I live with Congo people. The yard we're living, they have fresh toilet, shower. So I said, I cannot attest to that because I never experienced that. But I said, all the zinc shed around us, the lawman, the parent, the buzzer, the crew, they also had Chima Bucket. And who's okay with Chima Bucket that the children they brought from up interior? The nephew or niece or something, they brought them one to carry with Chima Bucket. So how can you be pointing at Congo people treating children bad?
Yeah, but Mr. George, those are behavior they picked up from the Congo people. So
come on, Samson, don't tell them that you want to spoil the player now.
That's how. I mean, if you want to live. If you want to live in a community, what the community does, that's what you picked up.
But then why blame other people?
Mr. George, those days, I too were brought up by Congo woman, but for me, I don't even consider her nothing other than my mom.
That's what I'm saying. But I bet you have frustrated in your house. You have frustrated in that house.
Not only that, I was living like a king.
Okay, that was.
I remember. I mean, her son, who is here, also her son and myself. She thought we were twins. The only person who used to separate us was the father. But the old man, when she come to America, she buy one stuff for one. The son, she'll buy the same suit for me.
Okay.
So it was no different.
No, that's what I'm saying. When we should not make a blanket statement about other people. Because in ourselves, among ourselves, we're doing the same thing. Somebody were doing some of the things. There's some bad thing. I don't back. There was some bad American Liberians. Some all live with them. We know there were some bad ones. But I'm saying we the indigenous people, they are bad. We are bad ones too. We got bad one among us. So we should not be pointing finger at other people because we're doing the same.
To be honest with you, I grew up also in Corway. Yeah. So Corway used to be the bad rank of the Congo people who were not high up.
Yes,
they were living in Corway, but they were still right. And so when you go to the Congo settlement, you can really see how they behave.
Yes,
how they see. But when I used to go with Buju Boy and myself, and some would go way deep inside. Into Clay Island and places like that, just walk all over the place. I never really seen them be misbehaving towards me. The only thing Buju Boy would tell me when we get to any of these little small town where you have 2-3 houses, he would tell me stay away from the plums, stay away from the oranges, stay away from the breadfruit. Don't touch any of those things unless they offer you.
Yes.
Other than that, everything else was fine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if we're going to pass this thing, then I agree we should pass, but we should not continue to point finger at one group of people for doing something bad and whereby we're doing the same thing to our people. That's my point of argument.
I agree with you. For me, the Congo crown. I mean, Congo country doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. Look at it. Look at the way the treatment from the lawmakers in other places, from the southeast. Many of them in the government right now. People complain about the government full of Southeastern, that which is true. But look how they behave.
I'm one of
Not a
those.
decent role in their own villages.
I'm one of those who speak against it. I said because there was
Then he
something they were
went.
bashing
Then
Ellen Johnson for.
These guys went over there. Let me just cut.
Yeah.
He went over there giving the people $750, which is just $5.
And
It's-
that's
it's-
why
$750.
that's
That's
what
just
I
cheap.
said. They
I
were-
will one of these days I will show some picture here when I went home, not this year, last year when I went home, and it was a project that I was supposed to have been part of, but because of Crooked G business in Liberia, they took the project away and give it to Italian. But anyhow, I went home and we drove from Monrovia all the way to Fishtown. Grangie there, road part, forget it. That one I've been talking about it. But there was a little town, and I will call one of the young men that was with us because he knows all these little towns. There was this town. My goodness. If you see the road that goes through that town, and you see the gutters where the ditches, the rain, when it rains, you wonder how these people live. Because if any kinds of heavy rain comes around, as heavy and fat as I am, and stand in our gutter, I will be swept away. No question asked. Because it's so steep. It's so steep. But and these people, they have businesses. So I'm sure they're paying taxes. And this is in River G, by the way. Paying taxes. And this is what I look at people like Company Wisa, of all people, representing River G. And you have these kinds of stuff. This is a guy during the days of Toba.
Yeah.
That when he comes back from the village, I mean, you can't stop him from talking about how bad things were. But we don't even hear him anymore. So perhaps they pass the touch on to the young people. I agree, but my goodness. Now, one of these days, I will line these pictures up and show them.
Look,
there was an area as we were getting closer to Fishtown from Grand Jide side. Now there was this one area we went through, and I didn't think the truck was going to go through because the truck hoods were underwater. It was. I thought, I'm like, okay, this one I'm not even going to do video because we're going to be swimming out of this mud here. But that is so bad. It's so bad. But these are the kind of people, we got people representing us, but I don't know. You can't blame Congo people on this one here.
Yeah, Mr. Toll, you've been speaking about this thing long time. I remember the video long time about those community, that role when you were showing all those videos. If people are not going to invite people like you, Mr. Toll, old man, because you're going to go straight to the point. They're not going to do it. Because they still want to stay. They're going to stay. If they put you over there, you're going to go straight by the boat. They don't want that. They do not want that.
Look.
So that's the problem with fixing. Tomorrow they will be running back here again.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I really appreciate about this CDC-led government is that he has opened many Liberians' eyes on how the functionality of a government, at least if not in entirety, but at least in some quarter, people now understand how and where this government is supposed to be helping who and what. And I think the next government that will come in will be on a serious scrutiny by the Liberian people. And none of that, the Chikisu stuff happened 2017 election, happened 2020. But by the time 2020 came around, it was just few people that were offering Chikisu. And in fact, you saw Tomafala behaving in Monrovia as though nothing could stop him. And he was defeated. Despite all of the money he spent, he was defeated. And I think now I hope that they learn a lesson. So this time around, they should try to do what is best. But from what I'm hearing, it doesn't look like that they have learned. In fact, they're double down in their spending ability. They're double down on that. So they will spend.
Oh, Mr. Tool, this is the best of Georgia government now. Nothing you see. This is the best they are rich. 6 years. What will be the difference to me? The next 6 years.
Nothing.
Things will become more harder. And thank God.
Well, I don't want. I'm not trying to campaign for this government, but I believe that if President Weah were to be challenged strongly and fight hard to retain his position, I think that will inform him of his inability to lead. And perhaps once he's successful and get re-elected, I think he would change, and I think he will see how and why the people are complaining. Even though people will say, well, he has nothing else to be worried about, but he wants to make sure that he have a good legacy. And he's watching the legacy of Madam Sali being torn apart, literally. You know,
let me ask you something too. What the president is doing now, that will tell you know what happened? If he happened to go the next round, he would do something much better.
He just went for the king coronation as a presidential. He look presidential now.
Look, that what the people eat presidential. When someone cannot afford to send a child to school, that presidential they will eat. Where's the bacon he bringing back home?
Eh? Oh, of course. He can't just fly over there without invitation.
What's the evidence?
Well, I saw some people. I see LIBERIA name on that list, but I think the embassy in London put up information that he was invited. So I don't know which one is true.
You gotta verify the Wikipedia.
I don't know. I have not gone on the executive mansion website to kind of check. I don't know. So
one of the interesting thing though, I have not seen Colasco. So maybe Colasco, even if he went with them, I have not seen any posting from him. Ever since the CIA deal, I think Colasco his wing perhaps been clipped. I have not seen him post anything up yet. So maybe
no, they ain't go there, because Saturday is the meeting. Saturday is the ceremony. Maybe that's Saturday Colasco start posting.
No, but usually Colasco, when the president arrived, he posted and things like that. And in fact, when the ambassador spoke, the reply usually will be coming from Colasco. But this time around, when Prince Sharif made that demand, it was the Minister of Information that came up. It wasn't Colasco. I'm not too sure what is happening.
What?
And they people watching the game in England. Arsenal game. So
oh, no, I think no. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what he's with. He's over there. Let me take this. Let me take this. Okay, thank you, Chief. Good evening, Ayi number 9. How you doing? You see my background today? Let me do this here so you can see my background. I changed the background specifically because of you. Specifically because of you. I don't want you to carry up with yellow in my background.
Yellow is a beautiful color. Anyways, how you guys doing this evening? So?
Not bad. Thank you for joining us, Ayi number 9.
Yeah, great conversation. You know, I can enjoy you and Mr. George when you're analyzing. Hello?
Yeah, we're here listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can enjoy you and Pat George when you guys analyzing. Pat George said Colasco imposed no picture. Did you not see the picture?
Samson told said, Samson told.
Was it posted by Colasco? I didn't see who was posting that.
No,
that Samson told.
No, it wasn't. It was posted by the E-Mansion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen anything from Colasco yet.
That's Samson told. That means say, that's Samson told.
Does that even matter if Colasco posted or not? I think you want to see him there. The first news the opposition was running away. They said he wasn't invited. Now he's posting pictures in the palace or in the guest hall, presenting flowers to.
But you see, Aaron, when you do those kind of thing, then they really, something I can be surprised.
No, he was.
Do you think if the president, even if he wasn't invited, and if he had gone to that place, you think they were going to reject him?
How could you say that, Mr. Toll?
I'm just asking.
There's no way you can go over there uninvited.
Okay.
I mean, it's not Mr. So. It's not Mr. So coming to visit you or Pat John coming to visit you. No.
Okay.
That place is highly secure with top flight securities.
All right.
So there's no way somebody.
So, IE number 9, what's your point?
That's my point. My point I'm making here is, the opposition need to stick with the stories in Liberia. Don't worry about what the president goes.
IE number 9, you acting like you are not in Liberia during the heydays of CDC against alien government. You guys did the worst than what this opposition. For me, they seem much more intellectual in their engagement with you, the CDC, than with you, CDC, engaging the Unity Party, because you were ruthless. You guys were just completely out of the world. I mean, you were not only rude, but ridiculous in your engagement with the Unity Party. Now you have people who will engage you intellectually, and now you're going to complain?
No, Mr. Toh, that's not true. It's not. They're not engaging us intellectually. No.
What do you see? Do you see them carrying casket around?
They don't have to carry casket around, but they abuse. You guys get calling about abusing all day.
There we go. Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. So that's the same thing. Everybody got a different way to communicate. Yeah, there are issues. And
Costa used to call Ellen. Costa used to call Ellen rogue. And Costa used to insult.
Costa is calling the president wrong as well.
No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to say because he was on your side at the time, where the Madame Salih's son challenged Costa for a duel on Broad Street, I believe. So I think you got to give the opposition some credit here that they're being a little bit sacrosanct in their engagement. They're being a little bit intellectual.
I think I will give. I mean, I'm not saying they're not intellectual in their conversation. I'm not saying that. But they are abusing as well. So let's get that straight. I'm not saying the opposition people are not intellectuals and stuff like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, some of the stories that you're the opposition, discuss. I don't think it even matters.
Willie Collins, you can call anytime. We'll pick up the call, so you don't have to ask questions. Just call. The number is up there.
I don't think it matters to the Liberian people. And not everywhere the president traveled, he traveled to bring back benefits to the country. No, it's not that. The president went for an invitation. I mean, he had an invitation to go for the king coronation.
Now that I got IE number 9, and I have folks. Let me take this. Okay, number 9. Let me ask you this. Let me put this caller on. Hello, Samson to Liberian Public Radio.
Yes. Good evening.
Yeah, can you hold on 1 minute? Can you hold on 1 minute, please? Hold on. Aaron, can you wrap it so that I can pick the other call, please?
Yeah. I just want to wrap it up real quick. So, I'm Jerry, my own IE fan, but let's stick to the issues, okay? Nobody complained that their children are not going to school. We are going
oh my!
So let's stick to the topic. Thank you guys for the conversation. I'm enjoying. I'm watching.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, caller, go ahead.
These CDC people.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, good and informative conversation this evening. I always follow you guys. My name is Jyoti Jalaru. I think my uncle also.
He's your uncle is the real board chairman of LPR. I'm just the undercover board chair.
Yeah, but I love the conversation this evening. I just wanted to kind of like add my own little 2 cents on it. I am calling from Kansas City, Missouri,
Thank you.
where I live here. I serve as a pastor here. But regarding the American Liberians and Concord people as we call them, I just wanted to add that I had to do like a tribute to my mother today, who also considered as American Liberian, but why there most people are not were unfortunate and live with other people, but I was well taken care of by my mother, Esther Jacob Jones, who I consider as my mother, came from Grand Judah in like 1986 at the age of 12 years old, and she took me in, as we call it then, houseboy. But I got all my trainings and best of education from them. So yeah, there are a lot of them that have done well for some of us that came as indigenous to the city, and they took good care of us. So I just wanted to, today is her birthday actually, and I just wanted to use this occasion also to say a happy birthday. That yes, some of them took good care of us, and that's why some of us are where we are today because of what it did for us.
Thank you, and I second that motion because I too have my mom, Madam Dr. Bertha Baker Ezango, who was Christian Baker's sister, married to Robert Wilbur Exanco, who used to be Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. But her thing with me was that she truly believed I'm her son. And she has a son, her biological son, which I call real son. But she always treated me like I'm twin to this young man. In fact, I remember very well that she decided because she was going to send me to BWI, but she didn't want me to go by myself, I believe. But that wasn't the conversation, but I believe now. And so the son went with me, but the son didn't want to go to BWI. The son wanted to go to Kateria. And so out of BW Harry or Kateria, one of those. But anyway, he decided, let's go over there. And we shouldn't do well on the test. So the first time we went for the test, we didn't do good at all. We didn't even do what we were done. We went there. So by the time we got the driver brought us back to Monrovia from Canada, the phone call had already been made because she asked the principal to look at our paper immediately, and then she got called that, oh, they didn't do well. So she said, okay, I know exactly what their problem. They're gonna go back again. So when we got to Monrovia, she said, you guys are going back again. So when we went back this time around, the young man told me, look, let's get drunk this time around. So by the time we got there, by the time we finished with 2 club beer, big bottle club beer, we were already done. So we took the test for the second time, didn't do well, BWI. So we so he went to his out of BW Harris or Katira. I decided I wanted to go to Wilson. So as a kid there working for Ministry of Education at the time, go to school in the morning, then go to work in the afternoon, maybe work 1 or 2 hours, go home, and there's
Wow.
then when I go home,
Samson, you've been bad from day one. Bad from day one.
when I go home, I go to EJ Raw. I go to EJ Raw, and then in the morning I go to work, already sleeping all day, But she treated me fairly, very good.
We're using the time. Let me talk about
my elementary education with a good foundation. Like you said, I went to Cathedral.
Oh, okay.
So, to have been sent to Cathedral, like some would say house boy, you are really blessed. Not many of us had the opportunity to attend Catholic schools those days. and I was blessed to have been well taken care of and supported by them, and it's evidence in some of the foundation that I do have today from my upbringing. Train well, cook well, clean well. So today I don't regret anything that I picked up from my mom. You know, and her son actually did a great job for me. She also had one son, but I was well treated. Everybody that stayed with her, she treated us just like her own children. George Fonderson is her son, and you know, it's a great thing for us to appreciate them because this is where we are today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for the great conversation, though. I'm enjoying it, and I watch you guys all the time as long as I'm not busy.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me say this.
Go
I
ahead,
want to
Mr.
tell a
George.
woman, yes, I want to tell a woman, thank you. She's not living, she's dead. This woman was my second mother. She was called Josiah Crenshaw Ramsey. She was married to the late John Ramsey. Those people took me like their own child. So that is the reason I want. Yo.
Why
Oh,
you?
yo. That's how
Hola, yo. Yeah, you quero grande, not let you enter.
I bet you. Totan, Bason, I mean, Jawudi, Zamitan, Chaitan. You don't even know the places.
I big, yeah.
You know Zamitan?
Yeah.
You know Chaitan?
Yeah.
Okay. So that will tell you how far I travel in Bason. Okay. But this conversation, we need to have it. So, because so many people don't know about some of these things that happen in Liberia. They just hear from some people and they say, oh, these people were bad. No, that one I ask the people. I went in Liberia, so when I ask the people, I say, all your lawmakers you're running around, let me ask you people, how many different tribes they with some of these people? And the bottom, be better, forget it. And another question I say, you see there, some of us, I'm a typical parable, but yeah, a crime man took me into a house and I became part of the family. I'm part of that family. Her daughter was here. She just left this morning. I took her to the airport. She came for work, but she came to see me. So that one, tell people, when you see me talking to somebody, I said, because our people, we the indigenous people, we don't have people. It's all about our family. But I said, look at so many other people who were considered Congo people. They took different.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to that, Mr. George, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But overall, some of these people complain have to do with the structure, the governmental structure, and the way the government was involved in people's lives, specifically in the indigenous lives. The problem is, the problem is all of these good people that took care of us, they couldn't take care of everybody.
No.
Whereas if the government were able to provide some sort of a policy or a means for all the other people that were not fortunate enough to stay with good Congo people, because there was some bad Congo people, you go stay with them, you can't stay long. You can't stay long. You run away. You run away. I tried 2 places. I couldn't make it. I left at midnight. I left. You know, my father in Totan. I left. I spent whole night in the street of Monrovia until the next day. I went to the barracks and then contacted my uncle. You know, I don't want to stay over there anymore. Twice. You know, but there were other people that were just wicked. You know, completely wicked.
Yes, that's why, Mr. So I'm saying that I lay in my premise. I said, when look at I always use this word. Not every black man is your brother, and not every white man is your enemy. What I mean is that not every Congo people were bad, and not every native people were bad. Every group you have some bad ones, and as you talk it, we are talking about it. The government structure was the problem because they didn't provide incentive. I mean, let's say other means for other people in the rural area to get the kind of education that people in Monrovia or around Monrovia were getting. That was bad.
Right.
That was bad, depriving other people of education. That was bad because the resource belongs to everybody. That was bad. But what I always say is that this is the same thing our own brethren doing to honor. So that's why I say they should not be the one to be speaking about those kind of things. Look at the road. The road still remains the same. Will cost the people 133 years. Will be in there 40 years. The road still the same. The school still remains the same.
But I like Akara Grace, the roads are paved. So but anyway, let me say thank you, Mr. George. We've reached the time now. Let me say thank you very much. We will be out here again come tomorrow. Just give me 1 or 2 seconds of your closing, then we can say good night to the folks.
You know what happened, Mr. So? Mr. To, I'm happy for the few minutes we took to talk about this device, country native. I'm very pleased that we can start having this kind of discussion, because that's the only way we may not eradicate it, but we'll try to minimize it. Because by we talking, other people start learning or listening, and they can come and tell the story that, hey, this person, they treat me this way. They were from their group here. So I'm very happy. But let me just close on this note.
By the way, before you close, you know Aaron Toba?
And Dr. Toba?
Yeah. So it was the same lady that read him, by the way. The lady took him when he was little and took him through elementary school, through high school, and then in fact stay with him through cotton and stuff like that. At the time, his name was John Tukpa. He wasn't Heron Tukpa all the time. He was John Tukpa at the time. And then, of course, later on, after cotton, the woman gave him job at the Ministry of Education. He was working, I believe, assisting or some deputy somewhere, but he was working at the Ministry of Education before he came to America.
You see that?
Go ahead.
So we have to talk this story, because let the children learn. Because what people are talking, when you hear all the people are wicked, all the people treated all like this, and that's the thing I say. No, that thing should not be a blanket thing. We just put it on everybody. Like one group of people are just bad. No, there were very good ones from there, and because of that, some of us were able to leave our parents.
But not only that, Mr. They were bad to each other also.
Of course.
Look what happened to Abba White. Look what it did to Abba White.
Yes.
So I mean, it was not like they were all good to each other and bad to us. No, they were bad to each other as well.
More than they were having.
Yeah.
With these, but it like all these people. No, there was the same thing they were suffering from. They suffer from it. Segregation among their own self. There were devices among their own self. Certain group will go this way, the other group will go this way. It did exist among then, and today it still exists among us. But it's good that we come and talk this issue, so at least we can have this discussion. You see how many people calling talking about it? You see that? So it is good to talk about it. Some people don't like to talk about it. Oh, y'all want to be divisive. No, we want to bring the country together, because the more we discuss about these things here, people will get to know what happened and how other people are treated. So this is the thing. But let me just close this on. Tomorrow, I know it'll be a hot topic, but LEC again, they throw outside again. LEC. The Ivorians said they will not get you no more current again after this contract.
That is song Ivorian been singing about. They will not give it, then they give it. They will not give it, then we give it.
If you're not paying, they put the money.
They started. They with the international committee, and I want about you then say they got it under control.
Look,
but anyhow,
thank you, man, Mr. So it's been a great night. Sister, I know Sister in class tonight.
No, Sister been writing crazy here.
I see the man been writing.
No, he been writing crazy. He said you must have with the fussy puppy them two are all on tonight. He apologizing to to the audience. We're sorry. The two fussy people on tonight.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
but anyway.
Yeah, tomorrow.
No, thank you, Mr. Josh. Again, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening. And we do these things here from time to time to come out here and have fun with you guys. And I think sometimes we'll come up with some subject matters. But then again, the subject matter itself will lead us to certain places that perhaps were not intended. But it's all in good faith. As long we do these things and not because we're jealous or not because of hate, then I think I'm happy at the end of the day. And the audience that keep calling and making these contributions, well, it's not that you don't have anything to do, but I really, really want to appreciate you guys, to be honest with you, because we come out here. You don't have to watch us. You don't have to tune into us, none whatsoever. It's not that you're obligated to us, but the fact that perhaps you like what we do and things we say, and we say it to your satisfaction and things like that, and so you are engaged, and we respect that. And I want to thank you very much on behalf of LPR. I told the young man that was on here, I am the undercover board chair, and the real board chair is that his uncle. He brought his niece and my uncle. I said, hey, sorry, your uncle is the real board chair. Let me say it now before he get, because I know I don't want Mr. So to say, oh, he cleaning board chair, shaving stuff. No, I'm the undercover board chair. But no, on a very serious note, under his leadership, Mr. So will continue to thrive. He always says this, that when we come out here to make these kinds of pronouncements and come out to talk to you, first thing, we must be honest to each other, respectful to each other. And I think if we're able to achieve those things and many more, be responsible as well. If we're able to achieve those things, then the rest of it is just something, and that is nature. We do it, you like it, we do more, and you follow. I want to thank you and say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Good night, folks.
Autorité mère de dos. Alors nous c'est bon lolo. Moi beni gede, moi beni weson e bao. There was so much sense yadi abela muteno. Combien parce que la cause est toi pour Mon gars nous aimons dans la canale. Mon way yeah. You must have a funny gaga mulo. Gaya sego mago, you can't get away to a baleo. Yabaga goya baby, the way I touch it. Mamanto and New York, I said, Vipel, as I reminded to the glare, but not attack you. And I'm a silly again now. Come on, be more, silly moyo again. A boy, and well, come on, play a show with Mao. My doctor, she did. No, be possible. See the color to color. On a rentré Danny Blue, 5 étoiles, toujours choco. Aïe, aïe. C'est mon word alors. Mais la nuit, c'est nous, un bébé. Comme on dit le dieu, un bébé, c'est à dire que l'eau est bâti. Y'a Dieu, dis-moi ça, y'a Dieu, c'est non. Quand c'est toi, bon, ouais. Quand c'est toi, bon, ouais. Et tu veux voir quoi,